Today it is a beautiful day in February. It's supposed to be in the 50s today, and when it's sweatshirt weather, we are outside doing something. And so, in reality, we go outside a little bit, probably every day anyway. But today is going to be a little bit more than normal. We're going to be outside. So I have the rabbit waters, and I'm filling those really quickly. And I have already done the chickens and things like that. But getting the rabbit waters filled and whatnot. So my goals today are to, after I get the kids home from school, I am going to have them help me do some work in my greenhouse today. So I have a very small greenhouse, but for all that I've used it so far, it's totally fine with the size. One of my goals in this year, I have many goals for the upcoming year and garden season, but I'll show you the rabbits here. It's New Zealand. I'm sorry, it's not. It's Californian. Here's our New Zealand. Both of those are our meat mama. There's a little lion head. Camera's not seeming to focus there. There's our daddy. He's in there. I'll have to give you a little rabbit update too. There's Finn. His name's Finn. He's a Holland Lob. There's our female Holland Lob. And Charlotte is back there hiding. She is a lion head. Anyway, so I'm going to give you a real quick glimpse of, there is still snow on the ground too, ice more so in our yard, but here is my, and the goals. It's, now bear with me, it is a mess, and this has honestly become like, in the fall, this is where I throw all of the things gardening. I just throw it in there, and it's embarrassing, and it's a mess, but today, it's going to get fixed since the sky is blue. I mean, just look at the blue skies. You cannot get much better than that, right? So, and you can see still the snow, and this is just like an ice patch, complete ice patch here. So anyway, a few upgrades in the cleaning area are going to be happening today, and it's so therapeutic for my soul. This stuff here is all my winter sowing, and it wraps actually around the back too. And I am going to do a quick check of those today as well, because we have, the soil looks, these clear jugs, I can see quite well into them, and they actually look still pretty moist. I did take note to a couple the other day. Actually, you know what? I think we had rain overnight a few nights ago. That one looks a little bit dry on the inside, but I am going to go ahead and check at some point today, because if we don't have, you still want to, you don't want those to dry out, because there's still seeds in there. And so we just got to make sure that they don't dry out, that sort of thing. So, okay, here is my greenhouse. So we're going to be doing it before and after. We actually also, it is warm. You can just feel the heat. Oh my goodness. I bet it's in almost 80 degrees in here. Which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because the heat's not going to stay, and I don't want stuff to start growing. Anyway, we actually I have a couple of these, what do you even call those? Metal shelving units. I have two of those that we had done, put insulation in the shed. And, when we did that, we also organized and regrouped, trying to really get a better system in the shed. And so we no longer needed these. And so we just kind of did shelving shelves, hanging shelves. And so anyway, so I have two of those, and I told Ethan that I could utilize them in the greenhouse because I need a little more space this year. One of my goals is to start all of my vegetables in my garden from seed. And so now if I don't have success with seeds of a certain type of plant, I will definitely go to the greenhouse and get the starter ones. But for the most part, I really, really want to start everything from seed this year. It's going to be a learning curve for me because I do start a few things every year, but not all of my garden plants. And so it's going to be huge for me. I already have the seeds. I already have it somewhat planned. And so I just have to do it whenever the time's right. It's not, I'm going to start with growing in here in my greenhouse, 4 to 6 weeks ahead of the last frost. So I think that's going to put us, I think end of April, April 29th, I would need to double check that, is our last predicted frost. In my head, after my oldest son Xander's birthday is when I plant my garden, or the week of his birthday is usually when I plant my garden, which his birthday is May 5th. So that's always been Xander's birthday, I plant my garden. It's always a great week for me because we get to celebrate him and I get to put my garden in. So, 4 to 6 weeks before that, so end of March, beginning of April is when I plan on coming out here, and I need to be prepared. And so, granted, I have a month till then, but I have a few events between there. And so just for the sake of planning and being ready, I'm going to take advantage of that. And so the sun is shining and we're going to do it today. So with no further hesitation, I'm going to show you my greenhouse. I am telling you, I am very, very sad that it looks this way. But like I said, it's my throw all place. In the fall, I just pitch it all in here and we walk away till now. So this is a rose bush, which looks very sad. I did come in and water this yesterday. I think it was just lacking water. So it's stayed green all year. I hope I didn't kill it. I have the worst luck with rose bushes. It's pretty dry. I don't know if we're going to get that. I don't know what's going to happen there. I have the worst luck with rose bushes. This is the one that I've kept the longest alive, and I planted it in the fall. I believe I planted that in the fall. And so I'm hoping that survives, but I did come out and water it yesterday. I didn't realize that it was so dry, but we're doing what we can. I have some special rose food that I might actually give it in its next water as well. But anyway, so these are some dead mums right there, and there's actually some back there too that still has green on it, just because it's probably super protected in here. But I need to completely trim those down to the growth. It really would not hurt to repot those. I will probably cut it down today, but I don't have the soil to repot them today. I have some, but not enough to do all of them. But I'm just going to cut those down to the top, and they'll grow back because mums are pretty hardy, or I can even plant them in the ground too. I'm not quite sure what I want to do there. These plants here with all the straw on them, those are my blueberry bushes that I got this year, so I'm fingers crossed those are going to just start getting green in the next 6 to 8 weeks, and we're going to see some life there. I mean, everything looks healthy so far at the time of the year that it's predicted to be in. But those are 5 blueberry bushes that I have just kept covered with straw just to help protect the roots. So these are all my planters from last year. How terrible is that? So everything needs cleaned out of those because I'll get all new fresh stuff in all of those. I think I have this thing with a little bit of green needs a snapdragon, and so that will actually come back. But in this back one I have creeping Jenny, and so that'll all come back as well. But so my plan is to put the 2 shelving units right here, and I have a bunch of trays like this one that I plan on just lining everything up so I am ready to go. I am still on the hunt. I do have pots, like little individual pots that I'll be putting out too, and then I'll probably next week I'll go shopping and get a bunch of seed starting soil, more of that. And so anyway, my plan today is to fix this and just get these shelving units in here and get some organization to my disaster. Again, that's going to wait until after I get the kids today, and which is going to be semi soon. And so it's a nice little project, and I think it will go well overall. So we'll see how this goes. A little chicken check here. I did already come out and give them water. Hi, this is Moose. That's Moose. That's Daphne. That's Batman. That's Storm. Olga. Red is in the back. They're all doing good. And we'll go in and I will show you the baby rabbits real quick. I don't want to disturb. Oh my goodness, and a chicken got out. Do you see her? Those are, I don't know how old these peeps are. Let's see if she'll let me get her. Come here. There we go. Back in there we go. We actually need to move them out because they are too big and too messy to be in the house. But here is our Californian mama. So these babies are 3 weeks old as of yesterday. And so, see if she'll let me without sticking her nose in the camera. She's been really good. She's made this whole process really easy. Ooh. But there they are. Do you see their foot? That one's foot is like completely out, sticking out. They're mostly gray. There's the one darker one, and then there's medium grays, and then that one you can see its belly. And Mama is biting my phone. Hi, hi, hey. Yeah, she's really gotten used to us. But they're big. Their eyes are all open finally, and moving right along with their growth, which is great. They will also be heading out of the house as well as soon as we're done with our shed project with the insulation, which we are almost done. It will be done this weekend. So lots of great things happening here and lots of work getting done. Moving right along, we are. Okay, so I am in the phase now where I'm going ahead and just trimming off the mums. These still look really good. There's actually green in the stems of these, and which I assumed because mums will come back and they are just in a dormant stage right now. So I am going to probably shoot these with a little bit of water with some fertilizer in it as well, just to give them that extra boost. They're pretty dried out. I was consistently watering them like every week to every 2 weeks for a while. And now I've just it's really just gone on the back burner, to be honest. And so before I'm done, I am going to go through and just try to give these all just an extra boost. There is still green at the base of this one, and there's actually a shooting coming out the side too. So two of them, just two of them, actually maybe three, I just can't see it quite yet, all have a little bit of green, like real green leaves at the bottom. I got the shelving in here, which I understand that this was just, I think, built differently. I think it was built backwards originally. So I'm going to have to flip it around because I realize these brackets are on the front. But my husband's not going to be happy with this anyway because it's not super secure. So I'll have him get in with me, and he's probably going to want to screw these, fasten those to the sides of the greenhouse. Not that there's really anything to really knock them over, but just the weight of the plants and things like that. So all I have to do besides that is just sweep the floor and get rid of all the stuff that I threw out of the greenhouse and get that put where it needs to go, and we're gonna be done. Call it a day. And here it is. So my rose bush is still there. There's just a bucket of soil that I did have, and I didn't realize I had that much. And then all of those plants have been trimmed, and we'll see what starts to come back and what I'll need to plant new in there. Most of them, minus the mums, will need to probably plant a new, which is fine because I do that every year. And then my blueberry shrubs are there. Hanging baskets are up top. I didn't get all those trimmed, but got all the pots collected in together. And hey, you know what? Got my bench. This is like my planting bench. So besides watering everything with a little bit of fertilizer in it, that's all that I got to do for this. It will need, once this rug dries out a little bit more, I'm going to take this is like an indoor-outdoor rug that I have on the bottom, and we've talked about graveling it, so we might be putting some stones in here this year. We'll see. And I'll take a good shop vac to it after I'm done planting, but for the most part, it is at least better than it was. Okay, so it's actually another day, but it's still really nice out. It's a little bit chillier, but still really nice out today. In addition to doing the greenhouse project this week, I really wanted to tackle a couple of my garden beds that I never trimmed stuff in the spring. I'm doing that today. This is one little area that just needs cleaned up. This was a snapdragon, and that's hollyhock. And this is, I cannot remember, but it's some sort of evergreen shrub, but the deer have gotten it pretty good. So I want to clean that up a little bit. And then these are mums that I wanted to get, and there's actually snapdragons in front of the mums there. And so I really just want to trim all these off. You can see there's life down below still, and on the other one I see it, it's just buried in the leaves. But this whole garden bed is going to be getting replaced because it is literally falling apart. You can see the pieces of that. It has lasted us quite a few years, but it's time for a new a new one of those, and so that will be happening in the spring. And I plan to go around the other side of my garden too, and there's a couple more mums that need trimmed down that I again neglected to do in the spring or in the fall, and so I plan to go and trim those down there on the other side over there. We are also planning on getting these boards replaced. I think Ethan's actually going to put some new boards up today. We had cut down this tree, trimmed it up, I think it was last spring actually, and when we did that, we tried, but it hit the garden, so it's fine. But those two boards do need replaced. The whole garden frame needs kind of a facelift, so hopefully by securing those boards up and going around tightening everything else up, it'll do us well for this growing season. So that is what I plan on doing. I have my wheelbarrow here, and I am going to get trimming these up. All right, and I got these two beds cleaned up nicely. I mean, as good as it's gonna go for right now. We still have quite a bit of ways to go for spring yet, so it's nothing too crazy, but at least stuff has been trimmed, and this has been given a little facelift. You can really tell how much protection the leaves really were on these plants. So I have 3 snapdragons in front. 1, 2, and 3. This is a snapdragon, and then I have mums here, 1 and 2 there, and I actually have a couple irises right there that are going to pop up too. So irises are early spring, so those are actually one of the first things that I see besides my daffodils. I guess I see them before. They don't bloom before my daffodils by any means, but I do start seeing greenery come up. So I have all of those. That's all cleaned up and at least good for now. We did have a matching flower bed to that over there, but again, the tree did damage to that one as well. So I actually plan on getting 2 concrete beds, raised concrete beds put in here this spring as well. That is the tentative plan for now. So off to the next flower bed we go. So I had a huge one here I trimmed down, and I wanted to show you. You can see, if you look at our little green fence here, you can just see where the deer are just climbing and pushing down our fence right here. Usually they don't bother this stuff, but they have literally been chewing. I know this does not look like it, but this is a holly shrub, and they are literally just eating the holly leaves off of my 2 holly shrubs. I guess desperate times they do what they need to do to be fed. And so they have pretty much trimmed that one completely. I mean, you can just look and see the whole fence. And this shrub as well is really sad looking because they have literally trimmed all of my holly bushes for me. So that is pretty sad. I do need to go through and fix this fence and whatnot. I had a mum over there that I already trimmed as well. I wanted to show you, this is an azalea bush, and you can already start seeing little bits of life come to this bush all over. It's just starting to bud up, as well as my lilacs. These are lilacs here. I have one, this is a pretty large one. They actually kind of get smaller as they go. My goal is to have this whole thing lined with lilacs. I just love lilacs, as I think most people do. But here is some greenery. If I can get my phone to focus on that. I don't know if it will. But you can see the greenery on there. You can just see all the buds starting to come out for my lilacs, and all of them are budded up, which is really just like a breath of fresh air to see this time of the year. I mean, it is mid-February and I'm seeing buds and it's wonderful. All right, so we actually have more lilacs that we, honestly, it was kind of a spur of the moment thing with getting them. And I really think, I mean, I kept saying that I truly was very hesitant on transplanting them at the time of the year we did. So here's this one. These are going to rotate in color too. I do not see any buds on this one, which has me a little bit concerned. There's a couple that I didn't see buds on, but these are going to rotate dark purple and a white, which in theory could be really pretty. But again, if I'm seeing buds on some and not all of them, it has me a little concerned that maybe they just didn't make it. In the fall, they were all still green, and we had them for a good few months. These are all for Cynthia's, and so those are all budded. Those are one of the first spring things with like your daffodils and things like that. These two are Rose of Sharon's right there, and I just have like a little evergreen shrub there too. Okay, here are more lilacs. Oh man, oh yes, okay, there is life on this one, which is great, and they're small, and I understand that, but lilacs grow pretty fast overall. This is another one, just looking for life. Oh, that looks pretty. Oh, you know what, it still might be okay. That one might be okay. This one is a little bit larger, but it's definitely got buds on it. And then this last one is pretty sad looking. They're, again, all different sizes. We actually got them from Ethan's grandparents. There's that one. It's very nicely budded as well. And we have a row of arborvitae, but we just plan on trying to like just hedge this in with beautiful things. So we actually got these lilacs from Ethan's grandparents, and so we really want them all to survive, and just as a way to remember them. All right, and in just a little bit of time, we already went ahead and got those new boards put up, and I am going to be staining those, and then our garden is back in at least decent shape. So all we have to do is get it tilled and planted.